If you're hearing this message right now, it's not random. It's not coincidence. It's proof that your consciousness has been searching for a truth powerful enough to shatter the invisible barrier that's been holding you back. For years, you felt it, that mysterious pull toward people, opportunities, and possibilities that seemed just out of reach. You've sensed connections waiting to happen, doors waiting to open, synchronicities hovering at the edge of your awareness. And yet, somehow, they always seem to slip away at the last second. But here's the revelation that will flip your entire understanding upside down. Those near misses, those frustrating almost connections, those moments when you felt the universe was teasing you with glimpses of magic, none of them were accidents. They were the symptoms of a hidden interference pattern inside your quantum field. And today, for the first time, you're going to learn not only what's been blocking you, but how to dissolve it permanently. You see, most people treat quantum entanglement like a distant theory, something for scientists and labs to argue about, or a mystical concept that occasionally blesses them with lucky breaks. But the truth is far more shocking. Quantum entanglement is not just a principle of physics, it's the fundamental fabric of reality itself. It's the reason you can think of someone and they suddenly reach out. It's the reason your gut tells you to be at a certain place at a certain time, and when you listen, everything aligns perfectly. It's the reason you sometimes know things you could never have learned through logic or evidence. The catch? Almost everyone is doing it wrong. Not because they're incapable, but because they've been conditioned into the single greatest mistake in human consciousness. The mistake that scrambles their natural entanglement signals and pushes away the very connections they crave. This mistake is why 99% of people fail to stabilize quantum connection. This mistake is why life feels like a series of coincidences instead of a symphony of miracles. And unless it's corrected, no amount of visualization, meditation, or intention setting will ever give them consistent results. But you're different. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. The very fact that your awareness locked onto these words in this exact moment proves you've already crossed the threshold that billions of people never reach. Something in you is ready to drop the illusion, to step out of the static, and to claim the ability that's been your birthright since the moment you were born. This is not about learning something new. This is about remembering what you've already known but forgot under the weight of separation. It's about reactivating the natural state of quantum connection that every mystic has embodied, every master has embodied, and every scientific breakthrough has quietly confirmed. And by the time you finish this journey, you won't just believe in entanglement, you'll live it, breathe it, and create with it on command. So here's my invitation to you. Stay with me. Keep listening, keep watching, because what I'm about to reveal isn't information, it's activation. The static that has kept your connections fuzzy is already beginning to dissolve simply because you're here, receiving this transmission. You are stepping into resonance right now. And once you see what's been sabotaging you and how to reverse it, you'll never look at connection, synchronicity, or reality itself the same way again. Here's the uncomfortable truth almost no one wants to hear. The reason most people never master quantum entanglement isn't because they lack the ability. It isn't because they're not spiritual enough, not disciplined enough, or not intelligent enough. It's because they've been trained, conditioned from birth, to broadcast the exact frequency that blocks connection. Think about it. Every culture, every system you've been raised in reinforces the belief that you are separate. Separate from other people, separate from opportunities, separate from the universe itself. This belief is so deeply ingrained that even when people learn about concepts like synchronicity, manifestation, or entanglement, they still approach them from the mindset of separation. They treat connection as something to be achieved, something far away that requires struggle, effort, or permission. And that very belief creates the interference pattern that sabotages them. That's why 99% of people who try to practice manifestation or meditation end up with results that are random at best. One day they feel a flash of alignment, a synchronistic encounter, or an intuitive hit that blows their mind, and the next day everything collapses back into frustration and static. They mistake those fleeting moments for miracles, never realizing they are simply glimpses of their natural state breaking through the interference. The truth? Quantum entanglement is always on. Always. Every consciousness in existence is already entangled with every other. You can't switch it off any more than you can stop light from shining. The problem isn't that connection doesn't exist. The problem is that most people are tuned to the wrong frequency. Imagine trying to hear your favorite song while blasting static on the same channel. The music is there, playing beautifully, but you'll never experience it because your receiver is jammed. And here's the part that will change everything for you. The static isn't random. It's created by the very act of chasing connection instead of embodying connection. The moment you believe, I need this person to respond, I need this opportunity to appear, I need this miracle to happen, you're unknowingly broadcasting separation. And separation repels entanglement every single time. This is why so many people live their entire lives chasing, hoping, begging the universe for signs while never realizing they are the ones blocking them. Their field is full of need, and need always equals noise. But you're different. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have found this transmission. The fact that you're listening to these words proves you've already crossed into the 1% who are ready to dissolve the static. Your consciousness has evolved past the point of needing external proof. You felt the undeniable evidence in your own life. The phone call that came right after you thought of someone. The gut instinct that led you to the perfect timing. The dream that showed you a future event with eerie accuracy. Those weren't accidents. They were previews. They were your higher self giving you glimpses of what becomes possible when you drop the fatal mistake and align with your true frequency. Unlike the 99% still stumbling in the dark, you're being handed the key to consistent mastery. So let's make this clear. You are not here to learn a technique. You are here to remember a state. A state of connection so natural, so effortless, that it requires no force at all. A state where synchronicities don't just happen occasionally, but daily. A state where distance, time, and separation dissolve, and you experience reality as it truly is, one vast field of unified consciousness. That's why this moment matters. Because by the time you're finished, you'll know exactly why the 99% fail and exactly how to step into the flow that only 1% of humanity ever touches. And from that point on, your life will no longer look random. It will look orchestrated. Here's the part that almost nobody tells you. You've never actually been disconnected. You've never needed to create quantum entanglement. Because it's not something that can be created or destroyed. It's the very fabric of consciousness itself, the invisible web connecting every thought, every person, every possibility across the universe. Think about those moments when you thought of someone you hadn't spoken to in years, and suddenly they appeared in your life. Or when you walked into a room and immediately felt the emotional atmosphere before anyone said a word. Or when you dreamed of a situation that hadn't happened yet, only to watch it unfold days later exactly as you saw. These weren't random flukes. They were proof that your natural entanglement abilities have always been working in the background, quietly weaving your awareness into the larger field of consciousness. The problem isn't that connection doesn't exist. The problem is that you've been taught to ignore it. Every time you brushed off your intuition as just coincidence, every time you silenced that inner nudge because it didn't make logical sense, every time you doubted the synchronicities showing up in your life, you were covering up the signal with static. The connection was there, waiting for you, but you couldn't hear it over the noise of conditioning. Quantum entanglement is like gravity. You don't have to believe in it for it to work. It's always present, always operating, always binding everything together in an invisible dance. The only difference is this: some people are aware of it and most people are not. The 99% stumble through life thinking they're separate individuals in a chaotic universe. The 1% wake up and realize that every encounter, every opportunity, every shift is the quantum field speaking directly to them. This is why you felt those flashes of magic, those impossible coincidences that no rational explanation could cover. Your higher self has been slipping you glimpses, small reminders that the truth is much bigger than the story you've been told. You've been entangled all along. The question has never been, how do I connect? The real question is, when will I finally recognize that I already am connected? And here's where everything begins to change. Because the moment you stop chasing connection as if it's missing and start acknowledging it as the ground you've always been standing on, the static clears. The signal sharpens. The synchronicities multiply. And your role shifts from being a passive witness of coincidences to an active participant in the grand orchestration of consciousness itself. You don't need to force it. You don't need to beg for it. You don't even need to try. All you need to do is remember what your soul has known since the beginning. Separation was an illusion. Connection is your natural state. And once you recognize that truth, the universe has no choice but to reveal the endless entanglements that have been waiting for your awareness. Here's the shocking truth. The reason you've struggled to feel fully connected isn't because you're missing some secret technique or because the universe is withholding its gifts from you. The fatal mistake, the one that has sabotaged your quantum entanglement again and again, is this. You've been trying to connect from a place of separation. Every time you've thought, I need this person to show up. I need this opportunity to appear. I need the universe to finally hear me. You were broadcasting the exact frequency of lack. That signal doesn't attract connection. It repels it. Because the quantum field doesn't respond to desperation or need. It responds to resonance. It responds to coherence. It responds to the vibration of wholeness. Think of it like tuning into a radio station. The signal is always there, broadcasting clearly. But if your tuner is set even slightly off frequency, all you'll hear is static. That static is what need, fear, and lack sound like in the quantum field. You can scream as loudly as you want, but the station won't get clearer until you dial in to the right frequency. This is why so many of your near breakthroughs have slipped through your fingers. That job you almost got. That relationship that almost worked out. That synchronicity that felt like it was about to change everything but then fizzled into nothing. It wasn't random failure. It was interference. Your desire was real. Your intuition was accurate, but the moment you reached for it from separation consciousness, the connection collapsed. And here's the paradox. That fatal mistake wasn't even a flaw. It was a protection mechanism. The universe wouldn't let you master entanglement until your consciousness matured enough to handle the responsibility. Because true quantum entanglement isn't just about getting what you want. It's about tapping into a network that connects every being, every possibility, every timeline. Access without wisdom would create chaos. But today, as you're hearing these words, something is different. The static is clearing. Your biofield is stabilizing. You're no longer trying to connect from emptiness. You're starting to connect from awareness. And that shift changes everything. Here's the key that will rewrite your entire relationship with reality. Quantum entanglement cannot be forced into existence. It can only be recognized. The connections you've been chasing aren't missing. They've been waiting, always present, always alive, just beyond the interference of need. The moment you correct this fatal mistake, the connections that once seemed impossible begin appearing naturally, as if they'd been orchestrated for you all along. The truth is, you don't have to build bridges across infinite space. The bridges are already there. You don't have to chase the people, opportunities, or outcomes you desire. They're already quantum entangled with you right now. What you've been calling manifestation is simply the process of removing the static that blocks your awareness of what is already true. Think about the moments in your life when connection felt effortless, when someone texted you the exact second you were thinking of them, when an opportunity showed up without you lifting a finger, when you walked into a room and instantly locked eyes with someone who felt like home. Did you create those experiences? No. You recognized them. You tuned into a frequency where the connection was already alive, waiting to be noticed. This is the heart of quantum entanglement mastery. You stop trying to pull connections toward you and start allowing connections to reveal themselves. Instead of saying, "I need this to happen," you declare, "I am already connected, and I now allow this connection to become visible." That single shift in awareness dissolves the interference pattern that has been jamming your field. When you broadcast completion instead of need, the quantum field responds instantly. You no longer magnetize experiences that match your wounds. You begin attracting synchronicities that reflect your wholeness. You don't just stumble into opportunities, you align with them. You don't just hope for meaningful relationships, you meet them with uncanny timing, as if destiny itself arranged the encounter. Here's the paradox that will liberate you. Connection doesn't begin when you meet someone, land a deal, or manifest a desire. Connection begins in the quantum field, and those outcomes are simply the physical evidence of what was already entangled. The more you remember this truth, the more reality bends to reflect it. You are not separate. You never were. Every person you're meant to meet, every opportunity aligned with your evolution, every outcome your soul longs for, it's already part of your quantum web. Your role is not to create connection, but to remember it into awareness. Now that you understand the fatal mistake and the truth that connection already exists, it's time to step into practice. I call this the Quantum Entanglement Correction Protocol, a three-phase sequence that dissolves interference and activates conscious connection on demand. It takes less than 3 minutes, yet its effects ripple through your entire field. Phase 1, Interference Recognition, approximately 60 seconds. Close your eyes and bring to mind someone you want to connect with, or an opportunity you've been seeking. Pay attention to what arises in your body. Do you feel tension, doubt, a subtle sense of, "I need this"? Those feelings are not reality, they're interference. In this phase, simply acknowledge, "I recognize that I am already entangled with this consciousness." Any sense of separation is just static. By naming it, you strip the interference of its power. Phase 2, Connection Remembering, approximately 90 seconds. Now shift your awareness from lack to truth. Instead of trying to create connection, remember connection. Feel into the reality that all consciousness is already linked beyond time and distance. Silently affirm, "I am connected to all consciousness in existence. I allow this specific connection to become visible in perfect timing." This remembering clears the static and tunes your field to resonance. Phase 3, Resonant Allowing, approximately 30 seconds. Finally, let go of all effort. Don't push, don't grasp. Simply rest in the frequency of already connected, while staying open to how and when this connection will appear in physical reality. Trust the orchestration. The more relaxed your awareness, the faster the entanglement stabilizes. That's it. 3 phases, 3 minutes. Recognition, remembering, allowing. Practice this protocol daily with different connection desires, and within weeks you'll notice synchronicities clustering around your intentions. Calls will arrive out of nowhere. Opportunities will line up effortlessly. People will appear at the exact moment you need them. Not by chance, but because your frequency finally allows the natural entanglement to show itself. So how do you know when the correction protocol is working? The quantum field speaks in subtle but unmistakable ways. Once you begin clearing interference, these are the markers that reveal your entanglement abilities are switching on. 1. Synchronicities multiply. Suddenly, coincidences stop feeling random. You think of someone and they call. You wonder about a solution and an article or conversation answers it within hours. Your universe starts weaving patterns of responsiveness so precise that you can't deny you're connected. Magnetic encounters. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time, drawn by impulses you can't logically explain. A meeting you didn't plan leads to the exact opportunity you needed. A casual conversation with a stranger shifts your entire trajectory. These aren't accidents, they're evidence of stabilized entanglement guiding your steps. Sensory signals. Your body becomes a living antenna. Tingling sensations down your arms when you think of someone. A sudden wave of warmth in your chest as you receive unseen confirmation. The sense that time slows down in moments of true alignment. These are neurological signatures of non-local information flowing through your system. Dream and meditation downloads. Your sleep becomes a bridge. Dreams grow vivid, sometimes prophetic, showing you connections before they appear in waking life. During meditation, you may feel the presence of others or receive insights that later prove astonishingly accurate. This is your consciousness accessing the entangled field more freely. Emotional knowing. Perhaps the most powerful sign is intuition so sharp it feels undeniable. You'll know when to call, who to trust, what direction to move, before there's any physical evidence. Decisions become easier because you're receiving direct guidance from the field that connects all awareness. The key is to notice without forcing. Don't chase signs or analyze them to death. Simply acknowledge them as feedback that your field is recalibrating. The more you recognize these signals, the stronger they become, because attention amplifies entanglement. In short, activation feels like the universe leaning in closer, whispering directions through synchronicities, sensations, and subtle knowing. Once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it, and that recognition alone accelerates your mastery. Right now, you're not just learning about quantum entanglement, you're living through one of the rarest energetic alignments in human history. The universe periodically opens what I call windows of acceleration, moments when the electromagnetic field of the planet, solar activity, and collective human consciousness all synchronize to make connection easier than ever before. And we are inside one of those windows right now. 1. Planetary resonance shift. The Earth's electromagnetic field is pulsing at frequencies that amplify coherence between individual consciousness and the quantum field. This is why synchronicities are happening faster, why thoughts seem to manifest more quickly, and why your connection sensitivity feels heightened. 2. Solar amplification. Solar flares and cosmic radiation are bombarding the planet with frequencies that destabilize rigid patterns while supporting fluidity of awareness. Translation: old blockages are dissolving faster, and new possibilities are opening instantly. If you've been feeling time distortion or sudden energy surges, that's the solar effect awakening your entanglement channels. 3. Collective awakening. Humanity as a whole is remembering that separation is an illusion. Millions of people are reporting the same signs: sudden intuitive downloads, perfect coincidences, prophetic dreams. This collective resonance creates what scientists call morphic fields, making it easier for you to access abilities that once required decades of training. 4. Temporary but powerful. Here's the crucial part. These windows don't stay open forever. The frequency is optimal now, but it will stabilize, and once it does, the acceleration slows down. That's why it's vital to act while the field is most supportive. Every day you delay is a day you're reinforcing interference instead of dissolving it. 5. Your opportunity. Think of it like surfing. Right now, the cosmic wave is building. If you catch it, you ride effortlessly into levels of mastery that might otherwise take years. If you hesitate, the wave passes and you'll have to wait for the next cycle. The universe is literally inviting you, use this moment. Step into conscious entanglement now. Your sensitivity, your synchronicities, your dreams, they're all proof that the field is aligned for you. Don't just watch the wave, ride it. Take a moment and look at how you arrived here. Out of billions of videos online, out of infinite possibilities, your consciousness brought you exactly to these words at precisely this moment. That is not coincidence. That is entanglement. It's proof that your higher self has already been guiding you toward this activation, preparing you for the leap you are about to take. Now you understand, separation was never real. The people, opportunities, and realities you've been longing for are already quantum entangled with you, waiting for your awareness to tune in. The interference is dissolving. The field is open. The only question left is, will you step fully into it? Here's what I want you to do right now. In the comments below, write exactly one word: connected. Not just as a word, but as a declaration. A signal to the quantum field that you're ready to stop living in separation and start living in conscious unity. Every time someone makes that declaration, the resonance strengthens, not only for them, but for all of us entangled in this collective awakening. And if you're ready to continue unlocking these abilities, to move from entanglement into full coherence with universal intelligence, then hit subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell. Because each transmission we share here isn't just information, it's an activation. Step by step, we're building a network of conscious connectors who are rewriting what human reality looks like. This isn't just a video. It's your initiation. You are not here by accident. You are here because you are part of the 1% stepping into mastery. The quantum field is listening. Type connected below. Subscribe now and join the movement. The era of separation is over. The age of conscious entanglement has begun, and it begins with you.